Welcome to yet another episode of A Story for Your Query. This is Dr. Pramila Kudwa, and today we have with us a dynamic, committed, young environmentalist, Amita Deshpande. I don't want to take too much time talking about her because her work speaks for herself. Thank you, Amita, and welcome to my podcast. Thank you for spending your time to be with us today.
Thank you so much, Pramila ma'am. It's such a pleasure to be on this call with you.
Don't ma'am me. It's fine. Don't just overlook the white hair. Um, Amita, you've
Yes.
been wanting to be an environmentalist from childhood, I believe. What prompted you?
When I was about, I think, 14, 15 years of age, somewhere in the textbooks, I had read that plastic is non-degradable, thermocol is non-degradable. These questions. Then my mind started asking questions that if it is non-degradable, means it is not going to become soil or it's not going to dissolve in water. Then why are we using it? A child's mind started thinking about all of this, and
Yeah.
at the same time, in parallel, so much of use of this plastic had already started coming up. Every shop used to give plastic bags, and all the packaging had started coming out in plastic. And this was somewhere in the mid 90s, at that time, or at late 90s, when all of this was happening. And it gave me an opportunity to research a little bit on this topic when there was a science seminar in our school. And I was in Dadra Nagar Haveli. That's a union territory.
Yes.
At the state level or union territory level, we had a competition on of science seminar, and my topic was solid waste management. And I talked about solid waste management. That gave me an opportunity to research a lot about this topic. We didn't have internet, so it was more difficult. I had to go visit the government offices, interview different kinds of people. So actual in-person conversations happened, and I realized that there is no solution for plastic waste management at that point in time. So the only solution I thought, at least I will start, is stop using plastic as much as possible. So I kept doing that. I kept giving people lectures as an environmentalist, a young environmentalist. I kept giving lectures. But I realized that only giving lectures not helping, because people kept asking, oh, what's the solution? What alternatives do you want to give? Things like that. And I didn't have answers to all of that. As I grew up, I went to engineering college because I didn't know that there was a career possible in this field. So I went to engineering college. I did my IT engineering, and while studying as well as working in the IT sector, I had moved to Pune by then, and around Pune there are a lot of hill forts, trekking areas. And being a nature lover or environment lover, I used to go hiking in the mountains, and there also I started seeing plastic waste.
Oh,
So,
yes, you bet.
so first of all, our cities are flooded with it, and then your villages have started getting flooded with it, and the mountains, when nobody's going to come and clean it. Again, there was a lot of plastic waste, and I kept asking questions to the villagers, "Ke yahan pe kyun aa jata hai? Who brings it here?" And people say tourists bring it here. Then eventually they also started bringing their own plastic waste. All the shops started having Maggie and Parle packets and everything, So unfortunately, it was getting flooded. And my being an environmentalist wasn't helping, because people thought I'm just, giving them a lecture. And there was nobody who was actually, some of them, of course, were listening to me, but not all of them. So that's when I realized that this should become my focus and this should become my career, and not just me being a volunteer environmentalist, not going to help. So I quit my corporate job in IT. I chose a program for my master's in the US. Contrary to what the US is popular for, consumerism, I chose a program in sustainable development, which was, I'm happy that there was a program being offered in that. And I was studying at the Purdue University in Indiana.
I
After
see.
finishing my master's, I got a job in Chicago, and I was working for a company creating sustainability reports and CSR reports for large Fortune 500 companies. So that's where I finally got started in this journey into becoming a professional and then an entrepreneur.
Environmentalist. So people generally go to the US and kind of get lost there. They don't come back to their homeland. You came back. You came back and you've started this venture and you're working at it. What prompted you to do that? I'm only asking you about what prompted you because I'm intrigued. And I also want to share one more thing with you.
Huh.
We believe in doing something for the environment, each of us in our own way. I carry my jhola when I go shopping, I don't ask for plastic. And my children took part in a competition on sustainability, and they came up with green raddi. And there were children who were from the 10th standard and 12th standard, and my 8th standard babies got the first prize.
Wow, how
So
nice.
I would, if time permitting, I would want you to come to school and give a talk, maybe on Zoom, because
Oh,
this time
yes,
does not permit us to talk in a physical environment at the
of
moment.
course, of
Maybe
course.
on Zoom, I will let you know about that. So
Totally
coming back to my question, what made you come back to your motherland?
when I went there, I always had this in my mind that I'm going there only for studies and a few years of experience, and I'm going to come back because I somewhere wanted to work for my own country, because that's where I grew up. I wanted to give back to my motherland, and I always felt that the real need to work is in our country, and that's where I'll be able to make the biggest difference. So it was a plan. I was always going to come back to India before. So at that time, I don't know if you remember, December 2012 was when the world was going to come to an end. That was so it was a prediction that December 2012 the world's going to come to an end. I was like, oh my God, before the world comes to an end, I must go back to my country and serve for it. so so that was my deadline, and I did come back by December 2012.
How did the course that you did on sustainability help you with what you're doing now?
That's a very good question, actually. So the program that I attended, so the course itself was a basic business degree. So it was an administration degree that I did from the business school at Purdue. Uh, but I took courses in sustainable development, which I had to create on my own because there was no course available as such.
Uh-huh.
So a very good faculty from my university helped me design the course, and they let me take the course. And it was mainly about how corporates are implementing sustainability. And
Wow.
the actually the best part about this course was that all this while I as an individual was taking actions about sustainability and about all this in my own life. But when I started thinking from a broader perspective of how companies with their products are impacting, or with their policies are impacting, that will make a large difference.
Hmm.
When Amazon decides to cut down plastic waste, or when Walmart decides to cut down plastic waste, when Walmart decides to reroute their logistics to save fuel, how this impacts. That was what my course was all about.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Yes,
I see.
it was indeed interesting.
So
And there was
now,
a lot of case studies involved in it. So it was not a typical learning course. It was more of an R&D course where we did a lot of research on some large MNCs and their practices.
I see. So what kind of plastic do you recycle?
At present, we are upcycling plastic, which is not easily recyclable. And these are your thin plastic bags, wrappers of different types, the MLPs, wrappers of Amazon, wrappers of Maggie and Kurkure, and all these things that are ideally not even healthy for us, but we're still consuming them. And plastic bags, the ones that are banned again, but they're still using. So
Yes,
that is what we upcycle at Recharaka.
I see. And these plastic bags go and choke your drains.
Exactly. They go choke your drain, they go choke animals, cows end up eating them because we
Oh, yes.
find it is very convenient to pack all our wet waste and organic waste in plastic bags and throwing it. And urban animals don't get green grass to eat, so they have to end up on the garbage bins to eat it. And they don't have hands to open the plastic bag and eat food from within, so they chew it open and unfortunately end up eating plastic as well with food.
Sad state of affairs. Anyway, each of us, I think, has to take some responsibility for our actions and for the environment. I
Exactly.
don't, and we've been doing this with our school children. Hopefully, they'll become responsible global citizens.
That's lovely.
So
I'm
there
so
is,
glad.
yeah. So when you were saying, there is a concept which I resonate with, which I must share with you. It's called die empty.
Hmm.
When you move on, you pass your knowledge to the other generation.
Hmm.
So when Bhishma Pitama was lying down on his bed of arrows, the Pandavas and the Kauravas come there
Hmm.
to gain knowledge from him.
Yeah.
And when Ravana is on his deathbed, Rama sends Lakshman to him to learn from him.
Hmm.
Yes. So now this is what I believe in. So anyway, you said ma'am for the white
Yes.
hair.
Ah.
So,
No,
so
I could call
I
you
believe
Pramila
that I
as
should pass on the knowledge,
honest. Totally.
and at this age, I have learned to do the podcast. At age 69, I started. I'm pushing. I'll be 70 next month.
Lovely. That's amazing because
So
a lot of people at your age don't even want to touch technology. They're scared of computers and smartphones also sometimes.
yeah, so I'm quite tech savvy in that sense. Yes, breaking a few barriers.
Yeah, you're older than my dad also actually.
Oh, so, all right. Now tell me, what exactly do you mean by plastic upcycling?
All right. So upcycling means so recycling can be downcycling or upcycling. Okay.
Okay.
So recycling is a larger, broader term which can mean upcycling or downcycling. Downcycling means making it into a lesser usable thing or something that is of a lower value. Upcycling means something that is of a higher value. So when I say upcycling, the wrappers or the carry bags that we are using are now upcycled into a nice, beautiful tote bag or a laundry basket for your home or a beautiful laptop sleeve or a planter, all these kind of things that we make. And in each of our bag, for example, our tote bag upcycles about 40 to 50 wrappers. So one tote bag has 40 to 50 wrappers inside it, woven together, just using a charkha and a hand loom. So our process is also very interesting to make these products. You want me
I
to
see.
tell you about that as well?
Yes, yes. Why not?
Okay. So what we do is we collect all of this plastic waste, we wash and sanitize it, sort them into different colors. So these are all original colors of the waste. A yellow becomes a yellow bag, a blue becomes a blue bag, or multicolored makes a multicolored bag. And then we use a pair of scissors just manually to cut each and every wrapper in a specific way so that we can get long strips of this plastic waste. And
Okay.
then we use a traditional charkha and a
Uh-huh.
hand loom to
Uh-huh.
weave it.
Oh,
Exactly. So just like how your handloom saris or handloom shawls are made, we weave all of this plastic waste together using a handloom. And the fabric that is made is then converted into all of these products. So that's why we are called recharka, because we are reviving the charkha to solve today's problem of plastic waste.
interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I'm really impressed.
And in the process, we are also employing some tribal women because this particular process of weaving is happening in a tribal village in Dadra Nagar Haveli. That's where I come from, to provide employment to women and youth in that village. And then final production of the product that
Mhm.
is designing and tailoring happens here in Pune at our workshop in Karve Nagar.
Okay, so you're not only doing something for the environment, you're also giving something back to the community by
Yes,
generating employment.
correct. So that's why we are an eco-social enterprise, not just a social
Yeah,
enterprise, but an eco-social enterprise.
excellent. May your tribe increase.
Yes, you're a part of the tribe now.
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Now, how do you market these?
So we believe that we should be market dependent and not donation dependent, and that's why we've come up with a product which people can use. People, common man like you and I can use. And these products are available, one at our Pune store where I am located right now. Secondly, you can buy them online. So we have our website, which is www.recharka.org. That's recharkha.org. And even on our Instagram and Facebook, which is recharaka_ecosocial, you can find our products. And finally, we do exhibitions and events in different cities across the country as well as abroad, where one can go and shop. So the information for these exhibitions is also posted on our social media channels where people can look up. We also have a branch recently started in Netherlands for Europe sales. So one of our colleagues is working out of Eindhoven in Netherlands, and she's helping us promote our products there. And
Excellent.
plus, we also do customized bulk orders for corporates or for anybody who wants to gift something, say, for example, Women's Day is coming on now, something for Women's Day gifting or any other kinds of products which you need customized, we do that as well.
I see. Interesting. So now I told you that I would want you to talk to my school children. So I'll be in touch so we can plan a Zoom session where you can
Totally,
address them and
totally,
orient them
totally.
into and create more awareness about sustainability and the respect that one needs to give to the environment.
Thank you so much. Because that is the need of the hour, is that all of us, like what I said, there is a bottom up and a top down approach. Top down approach comes from the government policies or from corporate policies and changes. But bottom up approach is also needed when you and I, and especially the next generation, the younger generation, change their own lifestyle. Once they do that, can a large scale change happen, because we at Recharka are upcycling plastic, but we don't want to give the message that, hey, create as much as waste you want and we are here to upcycle it.
True.
That's not the message. The message that we want to give is first refuse, then reduce, then reuse, then repair, and finally recycle or upcycle. So there's this 5R waste management policy that we want all of us to approach.
That's
And
interesting.
now,
That's interesting. Thank you, Amita,
thank you
for really giving me this extra time. And I really appreciate it. I'm sure the children would enjoy listening to this.
Thank you so much, Pramila. And I really appreciate you inviting me here. Do drop by our Pune office anytime you're in this area. And hopefully, we do some work together
Certainly.
for your school as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
With this, we come to the end of the podcast. If you have any queries, you may just write it down to your query, mystory@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the episode. And we are here in another fortnight. Thank you very much.
That's lovely, Pramila. Such a nice initiative that you've taken.